Bawi, what's up, dude? How you been? What
I've
have you
been
been up
I've,
to?
I've been busy as always. I've been
hmm
working, just trying to work hard every day. Just trying to get better.
No days off.
There's
Really,
no
no days off for you.
no days off, man.
I remember the first time I saw you in Logic Design. You were falling asleep
Yeah,
in class.
that day. I had to go work in the morning since like 3 in the morning until before until 2 hours before class.
hmm
So I got by the time I got to class. Uh,
You're just
Time to take
drained.
a nap. Yeah, man.
um, I initially thought that you because usually when someone falls asleep in class, they're like they don't really care about school, whatever. But the reason you fell asleep is because you work so hard every day. And once I started learning more about you, I'm like, damn, this dude is interesting. But we made it through Logic Design with our study
I
sessions.
didn't know how I did it. Oh, we did.
Yeah,
I don't know how I
right.
did it.
um, yeah, that
Yeah.
final was like, what the hell? But so I'm a little curious as to you've told me a little bit before, but like, why did you choose UMass Lowell specifically
Uh,
to go to?
I chose Umaslow because it has the. Since I was like, as soon as I finished high school, I knew I wanted to do electric engineering.
hmm
I didn't want to go too far. So from Lowell,
hmm
so Umaslow was like the only option. It has it's a good school. Uh, it's a close from my house.
hmm
It's a close to my work. It's just the best option.
Yeah. So it was the most convenient option for
Yes,
you
yes,
just to travel because you didn't want to live in like a different area on campus, like UMass Boston or something
no,
like that.
no.
Um, so why did you want to become an electrical engineer? Have you
So
always liked the math and the electronics and
so
stuff or?
I like math, especially calculus and
Mhm.
differential equation, physics. So and I made a promise to myself, right, when I was a little, that I was going to be engineer. So I had to make that happen.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. I'd
I
say,
had to find a way.
yeah.
It didn't matter. It took, even if it takes 10 years or 5 years, 6 years, it has to happen.
hmm I believe you. Yeah.
Uh,
And you've taken the same course as I've taken. It's
uh,
some of them not that bad. Others, holy crap.
yeah, sure,
It's
definitely.
and I don't know how you are working so much during the year and you manage to get it done. Like I don't usually work during the semester and it's hard for me.
Uh,
So how do you balance your life with work and school?
I just knew I had to get through it. So I would sacrifice my free time, my sleep. That's that's how I was able to get through it.
hmm Man, yeah. I've definitely sacrificed some sleep myself, but
I
I
think,
can't imagine how you're
yeah.
doing it.
I
So,
think,
what do you actually do for work?
what? So, uh, as soon as I finished high school,
hmm
I started working for this sushi company. I learned how to make sushi. And then after like 2 3 months, I think I became like a store manager. So I learned how to manage. I learned how to order. I learned how to talk to customer.
hmm
So so after I became manager for 1 year, so I wanted to do something different, like something more challenging, right? So I decided to become a sushi franchisee,
hmm
working as a sushi franchisee. And I started working as a sushi franchisee in 2019. So since then, I've been working as a sushi franchisee.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, how many franchises do you have at this moment?
Right now, I have 7 locations. Yes.
Man. So, how does this work technically? So, you own the franchise, right?
So basically, the sushi company had a contract with the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So grocery store, and then I had to uh I had to talk with the sushi company to get franchisee. The grocery store would take like maybe 10% or 20%. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
And the sushi company would take like 10% or sometimes 7%.
Mm-hmm.
I take the rest. I pay for the food costs. I will have to hire. I will have to find. I had to find my own employees. I had to. I had to run the store. I had to.
So, these 7 locations you're talking about, it's usually in a grocery store
Yes.
or something like that, and they'll take a cut. And then a sushi company, what do? They give you the supplies and stuff?
So
Or?
they have a warehouse. So we had to order like once a month,
Mhm.
like once a month, and then we get delivered. We got storage at the sushi, the sushi locations, and then that's how we do.
So
Yeah.
they, the sushi company will deliver right to the grocery store
Yes.
to make it easier.
Yes.
And
True.
from there, your employees take over. And do they make the sushi, or how does that?
So yeah, they take over. If I have to responsible everything. If I have to make sure who's gonna responsible for it. If I could not find anyone, then I will be the one that responsible for it.
Mhm.
If my employees take a day off, I had to cover the chef, or I will find a replacement for that day. And what if anything goes wrong, it's on me. I had to deal with the customers, my employees, the grocery store manager, and the company,
Mhm.
the sushi company itself.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I mean you get used to it. After a while,
Mhm. What would you say is the most difficult thing to do
So
in these franchises?
it's not as bad as you think. It's fun. I like it. I like doing it. But the most challenging for me is like balance between school and work. Sometimes I will spend too much time doing my schoolwork,
Mhm.
not enough time, not spending enough time with like the people that I work with. So basically the most challenging part is balance, to be able to have a balance between school and work.
Mhm. I would imagine that would be the most challenging part.
Uh,
So you knew you wanted to be an engineer pretty young, and you went to UMass Lowell to make it convenient to you were working at the time. Why? So my next question is like, when you graduate, you're in the master's program, right, at
yes,
UMass
that's
Lowell.
right.
Um, what are you gonna do after that? Are you gonna continue to run the franchises full time and have a electrical engineering
Uh, my,
type gig, or?
my goal is I want to take my time and do my master. I don't I don't want to do I don't want to work as a sushi franchisee uh as my career.
Mhm.
So I want to be stable before I start working as an engineer, electric engineer.
Mhm.
So I want to be like comfortable financially before I start working as an engineer. So I
Mhm.
could really take my time, like educate, not only working as an engineer, but educating myself, like teaching myself how to code, how to program,
Hmm.
and then spending more time reading, and then not have to worry about paying for bills.
Hmm.
That's the only reason I'm working as a sushi franchisee for now. I do
So
sushi.
you're on your own right now.
Oh
You're
well.
living in your own place, paying
Yeah,
all your own
yeah.
bills. So you're using the sushi franchise to do all of that
Yeah.
while you study to.
No, not only that, I do investment. I do. Sometimes I put my money in stocks,
Whew.
and then somehow I'm not that good at it. Somehow I managed to make money from it.
Mhm.
If I want to have more free time, right? If I have enough employees at my work, I work as an Uber driver, Lyft driver. I do food delivery. I do everything, man. Yeah. And before that, when I was in high school, I was working as a translator too. For
Wow.
sometimes I got paid. Sometimes I got paid like stipend. I was doing a lot of volunteering work.
Hmm.
So during my high school years.
So, what languages do you speak besides English?
So I speak Burmese, and not fluently, but good enough.
Hmm.
Right? In Myanmar, in my country, not only every state has their own language, right? But it's like every village has their own dialects. Sometimes it's a little different. So even my parents, right, they don't speak the same dialect. So they had to it's not you know, they had to learn the like if it like the capital city language. Like if you let's say you live in Massachusetts,
Hmm.
you from Lowell, I'm from like Dorchester, right? We speak different dialects, and then sometimes you don't understand each other, so you will have to learn to speak Boston. If you want to talk to me, you will have to speak Boston, and I will have to speak Boston. That's the only way we will be able to communicate. We will be able to talk to each
Wow.
other. So I learned a lot of dialects. And I was in Malaysia, so I speak a little bit of Malayu, Malaysia.
Hmm. So, so it's one language, but it has different dialect, or are they
I mean,
totally separate languages?
So every state has a like totally different language.
Mhm.
It's like Chinese and French,
Like it's completely
completely
different.
different. But maybe sometimes even in the same state, some cities and villages has totally completely different language.
And I know you told me before, but people listening aren't going to know what country you're talking about. So,
So I am from Myanmar, uh which is in Southeast Asia.
mhm,
It's at the border of like Thailand and India.
mhm.
I don't know if you ever been there, but I
No,
don't think.
I haven't left the East Coast. I haven't been out of the country
Yeah.
ever. Can you believe
Uh-huh.
that?
I mean,
Never.
You've been busy with school, so makes sense.
um, so it borders like Thailand,
China,
India,
India,
Singapore,
Singapore too, yeah.
China.
Malaysia too, yeah.
And I don't know. Do you feel comfortable talking about your home country, or
I don't mind, but
it's up to you?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Don't mind.
So, I know you left at a young age to, you said initially you went to Singapore for a little while,
Yeah,
and then you came here.
So, in order for me to at that time, in order for me to the goal was to go to Malaysia.
Hmm.
Is apply, and then there was like refugee So in order for me to come to US, I had to go to Malaysia. So from Malaysia, I had to go to Singapore first and stay there for like close to 2 months,
Hmm.
and then I took a bus to Malaysia. Now I was in Malaysia for 3 years, waiting to come to US.
Wow.
So I didn't go to school for 3 years.
Mhm.
While I was in Malaysia. I was working like 12, 14 hours a day, doing a lot of stuff, doing
So
many different stuff.
you're
So
you're not shy to hard work. You've been
I mean,
working hard for a long
I
time.
mean, I've been working hard my whole life.
Mhm.
Uh,
I personally thought it was interesting when you were telling me about your home country
uh,
when you were a kid. Uh, do you want to talk a little bit about like what it's like and afterwards maybe why you left
so
if you're comfortable with that?
I mean, the reason we left, well, I left like my home country is to have a better life.
Mhm.
In my country, it's you don't have a lot of options. It's a very hard for it's a very hard for like to get educated. It's very
Mhm.
hard to get educated. And we were just too poor because of the government,
Mhm.
because of military. I mean, because of a military dictatorship.
Similar to
It's not a lot of opportunities.
similar to Venezuela or
Yeah,
Cuba.
yeah, yeah. I would say so. Yeah,
Mhm. And you sent me an article about yourself that
yeah,
was written, and I read it. I was like, "Holy shit!
yeah,
You didn't have shoes, right, or
yeah.
something?"
I didn't have shoes. I was like maybe until I was close to 10.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you were poor. Yeah, it was.
When you were a kid, did you think every country was like that, or did you know that other countries were much different and it wasn't like that?
I knew. I knew. Uh, every country is a little different, but
Like when I was a young kid
uh,
growing up here, I thought the whole world, like 5 or 6.
yeah,
You're like everywhere is like this. You don't think about it until you get, a little older. I would say like when you're 3 or 4, it's like, you know, your surroundings. That's your life. I thought everything was like Lowell or here until I got a little bit older. I'm like, oh, there's countries.
I think when I was a little, I know that some countries are like doing very well. I
Mhm.
mean, doing way better than my country. But uh, when I got my first shoes, right, I was very. I feel like I was very fortunate to be able to have shoes.
How old were you?
I believe I was maybe I was younger, but uh, these was I think when I was almost 5.
Hmm.
So I was so happy. I was so happy.
And where do they come from? Like, I have no idea. Is there
So
like stores and stuff or?
so in the village, I don't think they were even. I'm not sure they will sell like some type of what you call it, convenience store,
Mhm.
but not maybe in one village like in my village. Maybe there was only one convenience store. That sometimes it would be too small, too big. They don't have a lot of options. They
Mhm.
didn't have a lot of options back then. Uh, Sometimes you cannot get it from the village. Maybe it's too big for you or too small for you, so you will have to go to the city. You will have to walk like 3 days to get to a city. The capital city of like my state, which is called Hakka.
Mhm.
Yeah, people will have to walk 3 days to get there. They come back 3 days. It took them 3 days, at least almost a week to go back and forth.
And how are they traveling? There's
They would
trains or cars?
walk.
Walk?
They had to walk. Yeah.
Holy shit. How
Dude,
far do you
there's-
think that is? Like,
I believe it's like about 60 miles. I could be wrong.
are you serious?
I could
And a
be
lot
wrong.
of people don't have shoes and
Yeah,
stuff.
a lot of people
Holy
they just
crap.
couldn't afford it, you know. Just couldn't afford it. But now it changed now. It's way better now.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were a young kid. You knew that there was better opportunities somewhere else.
I knew everybody wants to go to America. You know, America is like the second to heaven, right?
Mhm.
That's what we think. That's what everybody. I mean, almost everyone wants to go to America for a better opportunity, for a better future.
It's crazy. I don't know if you've seen it now, where a lot of people are talking that were born and raised here that this country is horrible, right? I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've
And-
seen it, but
And they're saying this is, they'll just go on and say horrible things about this country. I mean, what do you think about things like that and saying that America is such a horrible place to be?
I mean, it's very hard for me to judge them because they were born here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think they ever been to a country like my country. If they have been to, like, if they go visit like my country, right, or my state, I don't think they would be saying the same thing about America anymore. You know.
Yeah, I noticed that most of the people that say that haven't traveled anywhere in
sense.
the world. I mean, so I've been learning Spanish for a little while now. So I have a lot of friends like online from Latin America, Mexico, Venezuela, you name it, Argentina, Ecuador. And they all say the same thing. It's like, we want to move to the United States because, like you just said, there's more opportunities. You know, there are some countries in Latin America that aren't that bad.
Right.
Like Ecuador is relatively safe, but countries like Mexico and Cuba and stuff, they're dying. They're literally dying to get here. You know, like people
Yeah.
in Cuba
Yeah.
will make rafts and stuff and try and float to Florida, and a lot of them die. And the military tries to force them to stay,
Right.
which is crazy. But yeah, I can't say that I don't even have a passport. I haven't traveled anywhere outside of the country. I want to, but
But you very educated, you know. You like you get to meet people like me.
yeah,
Like you heard a lot of stories about different countries. The people. So
that's what I like about UMass Lowell is there's so many students that are, like a lot of hardworking students, but we're all so different. You know what I mean?
We look different. Yeah.
There's a lot of immigrants.
Yeah.
You know, like our mutual friend,
Uh-huh.
and I personally, I don't know what it is about me. I'm so interested to learn about somebody else's country because, like I said, I've never been there, or it's hard to keep up with because, dude, how big is the United States? Like, so much goes on here.
It's a huge already. Yeah, it's overwhelming already. Even just in US, right?
And I don't know, have you traveled in this country or have you
Yeah,
just stayed?
I've been to a lot of states.
So you know.
I've been to California, Florida.
It's way different than here, right?
Way different.
But we're in the same country, and it's kind of like you were talking about before in your country. Like there's different dialects and stuff in different languages. I mean, we have the same language, but dude, you go to New Mexico or Southern Texas, it's like Southern Texas is like very similar to Mexico. Like everybody speaks Spanish. I was talking to a kid from a border town. So like his town was bordering Mexico and Texas. And he's like, yeah, everybody speaks Spanish.
Oh,
Like it's
shit.
completely
I didn't
different.
know that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Some parts of Southern
Yeah.
California. So Mexicans, like it's very common for them to have street food and they'll have like stands and stuff on the street,
Oh,
and
man.
they'll sell tacos. They'll sell tacos like this Mexican chocolate that's apparently wicked good, and all these things. And in Southern California, they have the street food. It's all lined up because they all
Oh,
come from
man.
Mexico. So it's really cool. Here, I don't know. What do you think is the most common like minority around here? Is it I think around here it'd be like Cambodian.
I think
Right.
I would say Cambodia.
Cambodian.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, I would say Cambodia.
But yeah, we don't see anything like that.
It has to be Cambodia, yeah.
Cambodian, and probably the majority is what, like Irish, Italian, right?
Yeah. Cambodian, everyone else.
Cambodia. Oh, he's definitely Cambodian. Have you ever had? I think it's called like a banh mi or
Banh mi?
something. Banh mi.
I'm not sure.
Oh man,
I
dude,
don't
I'll have
think
to
so.
tell you a place to go. It's the Cambodians make it. It's like, you know what a sub?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sub,
Uh-huh.
but it has like all fresh ingredients and like, yeah, dude. Our teacher bought it for us for a
That's
class one time. She bought the whole class banh mi.
Banh mi.
Yeah. And
That's cool, man.
yeah, so it'll have like a meat, right? Like
Yeah.
chicken,
Uh-huh.
and then the rest is just like vegetables and like a lot of spices too. It's so good.
I want to try that, man.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture, dude. This is fresh. But did you eat around campus at all?
So,
Where was your favorite place to go?
I mean, I was always in like a rush, so I'm trying to get food as soon as possible. So
Like Dunkin'
most
Donuts.
of the time, I had to go to Dunkin' Donuts because I didn't want to wait for that long.
It's good, man. It's good.
Tastes good. It's a good price too.
Oh, it's cheap as hell.
It's cheap.
Um,
You don't have to wait for like 30 minutes for the food.
yeah. Have you been to the taco place on North Campus?
I had to, yeah. I've been there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Mexican. Dude, that was I love those tacos. I don't know about you. The guacamole,
Oh, well.
it's not that
It's
good.
not too fresh.
Yeah, it's a little watery. Everybody
okay.
says that. It's like a
Huh?
little watery. I've never seen guacamole like that. But dude, they got some good tacos. But yeah, so as we were talking about before, a country I'm super interested in is Singapore,
Singapore.
because
Yeah.
I think they were ranked the number 1 or the number 2 freest country in the whole world. The United States was behind them in terms of like businesses, government involvement in businesses,
Uh-huh.
and things like that. I know from what I hear, there's not a lot of regulations on businesses and stuff. So a lot of foreign investors are putting like their companies. It's similar to China. Like it's very cheap to get labor and stuff there, cheaper than here. How long did you live in Singapore?
I was in Singapore. My family, my relative were living in Singapore. So I stayed with them for close to 2 months.
Mhm. What is it like? I mean,
I mean, I was a little. I was only I
Oh.
was only 13. I didn't know much about it, but it's very clean. The people look friendly. I mean, the Singapore, the country itself is very clean. I think it's very safe to live there.
yeah, I was shocked. Like
Yeah.
they used to be in severe poverty not that long ago.
I believe so.
And like in my opinion, it's always a government issue where
Yeah.
the government controls too much stuff. And I think I have no idea, but I'll have to read up on it after.
Yeah.
Like a leader came in and was like, no, we're going to have businesses here and we're going to let them do, there's going to be some laws and stuff,
Uh-huh.
obviously.
Yeah,
You can't do whatever you want,
Yeah.
but I swear it's the number 1 or the number 2 freest country. I mean, they're a very wealthy country now.
They're a small country, but they're wealthy country. They're very rich.
And it's beautiful
country.
too.
Yeah, it's a
Holy
very,
crap. Like, I was watching a podcast and a girl from Singapore, she
Uh-huh.
was born and raised there, she lives in the United States, She was in Boston
She was in Boston.
and she saw there was like rust on the
Oh,
bridge.
uh-huh.
You know, that shit is everywhere. Like
Yeah,
Boston is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
run down.
It's going on.
And she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what the hell?" Like I thought I thought America was like a rich country. Like this would not happen in Singapore. That would be fixed right away. There would be no rust. Like I was shocked, you know, growing up here. Um when did you start going to did you go to school here? High school?
I went to high school. Yeah, I went to high
High
school here.
school here? Like growing up as a kid, they always teach you that like you should be really proud of this country and the history and stuff, how we like fought to have freedom from like the British people.
Uh-huh.
And in a way, they kind of always teach us that like this is the best country. And a lot of people confuse that with like this is the best country in every way.
Yeah,
But that's not
yeah,
true.
that's not true. It's
I'm not saying
overall-
it's a bad country.
overall. It's even if it's not the best, I think it's one of the best.
Yeah. I
But it's not.
definitely I would put this as one of the best countries. But like there's some other countries that do like medical surgeries, certain medical surgeries
Uh-huh.
better than we do. And people will travel there, like rich people, things like that. But yeah, I definitely want to learn more about Singapore. So you were in Malaysia
I was in Malaysia
for a lot longer.
Yeah,
What
close to
is
3 years.
so how old were you when you were
I
there?
was when I got to Malaysia, I was almost 14.
14. So you
So-
remember.
Yeah, so
What is Malaysia like? Is that a rich country or
Malaysia is like economically, I think a lot better than my country.
Mhm.
So people will go to Malaysia for work. For work. So there was a more opportunity for work to make money.
Mhm.
So in my country, even if you go work, right, you don't make much.
Mhm.
You don't make enough. Even if you work crazy hard.
It doesn't matter how hard you work
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, how do you get to other countries? I know if you want to come here, right, you usually need like a visa or something
So
similar.
yeah.
How do you go to Singapore and then Malaysia?
I mean, that's a very long story. So I mean, yeah, that's true. If you want to come here, you need a visa. But luckily, right, I came here as a refugee. So they were through UNHCR,
Mhm.
through the UN. So I had to. My family was there already in Malaysia. So I had to come with. I was there. Like we had to go through the interview and everything and stuff
Oh,
to
okay.
UNHCR office. If you really are like refugee, if they interview you, we had to go through. We had to go through the process, a long process. Sometimes it takes up to like even 5 6 years. Sometimes a long time. So if you
Holy
get very lucky,
shit.
it's maybe 2 years, 3 years.
Oh my god.
I think minimum it will have to be at least 1 year or more.
Mhm. Man. So,
So
like
you
interview, paperwork.
yeah, paperwork.
that's-
You don't really do any paperwork. They do for you.
Do you have to take a test or something or
Yeah,
no?
you had to. They interview you to be sure that you didn't like you are who you say you are. You know.
Do a lot of people try and lie about who they are or no?
Uh, I would not say that, but they want to make sure
Mhm.
you're not you're not like pretending to be someone else, or you don't lie about like uh the truth.
Mhm.
So you don't lie about the truth. Well, that's what I would say. The thing is that's the process that they had to get through anyway. You know, there's a there's a specific steps that you had to go through. You can't, yeah. It's like if you want to be engineer, you have to take this class, in order for you to become engineer. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanna, in order for us to come to US as a refugee, you gotta. We just had to go through a lot of interviews
Huh.
to really find out that uh yeah, like I said before, to really find out that you are who you say you are, you know.
So, how did you first learn English? Were you
So
taught or?
I was in my village. I didn't finish middle school,
Mhm.
but I had to learn how to write in English since kindergarten. But they only teach you in kindergarten. They only teach you ABC. You don't know much, right?
Mhm.
You say like you would say like cat. You don't even know what cat is until you are like at least fifth or sixth grade. They teach you in class, but even the teacher, they don't really understand what they were teaching. Right? The education was so bad. They were doing it because they had to, right?
Mhm.
So uh although I have I mean I have although I had to take English class since I was in like kindergarten or first grade. I didn't really learn anything
Mhm.
until like until I came here. So I had to start over. I had to start from like zero. Yeah.
Man. And so compared to your native language, is it difficult to learn English or no?
I mean it's not easy for sure. It's not easy for sure,
It's
but
much different than a lot of um, I know it's completely different than Chinese Mandarin or Japanese. So I'm sure it's
it's
similar.
a completely different. Yeah, you could say that. It's like very different.
That's crazy. Well, you speak it very well. That's awesome, dude.
I mean, I'm still learning, you know, still learning, trying to get better. I mean, it takes time, right? It takes time. Yeah.
100%. What was the number one, or you could name a couple things, when you first came to the United States that shocked you, like a cultural thing? Why? I can't believe they eat
Yeah,
that
yeah.
food or something like
So
that.
yeah, the the one thing that shocked me was I was very surprised that they are homeless in US because US like everything's great, you know. You could find a job, you could go to school, like you could go to school for free until you finish high school. I was like, I was asking myself, why is so many homeless people? How come?
Hmm.
Are they lazy? Like, what's the reason?
Hmm. It's definitely a
I was
difficult.
asking myself.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with either mental illness or like drug use. I'm sure some of them are lazy, but some of them aren't. They just don't have anybody.
Uh-huh.
It is crazy. But I think there's a lot of resources too. We have food pantries and, you know, would something like that surprise you that a homeless person can go somewhere and get food for free? Or
It's not surprised me. One thing that surprised me was why there is so many homeless people.
Mhm.
Why can't they find a job?
It is
Don't they
weird.
do they have their family? It's like in my country, like my village, right? If you're not doing well, if you really need help, if your family cannot help you, you know, someone else will try to help you.
Mhm.
I thought in America, since It's one of the best country in the world. It's surprised me that we have a lot of homeless people. When I came here, it's not surprised me anymore. But
Yeah,
when I first got here, it was it's like it was a shock.
definitely. It's it's in the always in the cities too.
It's always in the city.
There's you don't see any homeless people in
Uh
this town,
huh.
but you go to Boston. I was just at the Boston Library,
Uh huh.
and it's a public space. They can't like technically kick anybody out unless they're causing a problem.
Uh huh.
There's homeless people all around the library sleeping and stuff.
Huh.
I don't know. Have you been?
I never been there.
It's
No,
usually
I want to
later
go
in the
there.
day,
Uh huh.
but yeah, everybody's strung out on drugs, or it looks like they are, and they're just around the library. It's very strange because the library is so beautiful in
Yeah.
Boston. Dude, you have to see pictures of the library. It is insanely nice. And then you see homeless people around it. I'm not saying like screw those homeless people. It's just
I don't
surprising
want
to
to.
see.
Yeah.
So now that I think about it, what you're saying is kind of right. But I grew up in this house, so
Uh,
that's just something I've kind of been used to.
yeah.
How would
That makes sense.
how would you? What do you think would help the homeless people problem? Like if there was any policies,
I
or
don't think it's a policy. Uh,
maybe like in your village, you said someone will help you if like you lost your family or didn't have any. Do you
but
think?
I think it's a very hard for me to say. I think maybe because I think it starts from the family. I think the family should have the family first. Maybe their parents divorced when they were little.
Mm,
Maybe and then they didn't have no one to tell them like to show the way. This is how you. This is what you should do. This is like this is time to go to sleep. This is like time to work out. Time to go to school. Time to do their homework.
mhm. You shouldn't do this. You have
You
to
should
do
do
this.
that. Like even yeah, I think he already started when they were little. Maybe when they were not even in high school. Maybe middle school.
Hmm.
Maybe their parents like maybe they were not like. I just think the parents or the family, whoever was responsible for it. I mean, uh, I think as I think it's I mean it could be a lot of different things. I think as a community,
Hmm.
if we see kids who should be in school, if they're not in school, uh, if their parents or their family could not help them, I think we should step up as a community or
So
as
you're
a friends. We
you're
should step in
saying,
to show them the way.
mhm, like I think you're saying it wouldn't have anything to do with policy.
Yeah,
It's more of how the people think
yeah,
and how they treat. Because I know when I was growing up, uh, maybe not me specifically, but I know a lot of people. They always assume the worst about someone who's homeless. Like, oh, they didn't they don't want to get a job because they're lazy, or
uh-huh.
or they're a drug addict. And some of that time that's going to be true. But what about those people who just had really, really bad luck? Like you can't think those things about them all the time. You know what I mean? Cuz like an example is I was talking to somebody who was on the show, and they said by the low connector there's a guy that asked for money, and he gave him like 20 bucks, and as he turned the corner he saw he had an iPhone. And he's like, "What the hell, dude? Like I thought you were going to Like, are you going to spend that on food? You have an iPhone." Like, and he was pissed off. He was like, I shouldn't have gave him 20 bucks. So even that is hard, like, how do you know someone isn't just going to buy drugs with the money you give them,
It's tough.
you need to teach them like how, I don't know, how would you teach somebody who's
I
homeless?
think if they ask you for money for food, maybe we should take time to maybe instead of giving them the money,
Mhm.
we should go to like a food place and instead of giving them money, maybe we should give them food.
Give them food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they will not misuse the money.
Mhm. That's a
Right?
good idea. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
It's like I was always told like don't give anybody homeless don't give them money. But if you have extra food or something or you want to buy them food,
Uh-huh.
that's different,
Yeah.
you know. But I don't know, how would you teach somebody who's homeless? Right.
It's too late. It's
Right,
too late.
yeah.
I think it's too late by the time they're homeless, you know?
Maybe have to
It's like,
figure it out before.
yeah, it's like late already. Even if you could help them, you could change them. It's just, I mean, it's not gonna be easy.
Mhm. So, are there any things that you don't like about this country, even if it's just a minor thing or
I mean, nothing's perfect. No country's perfect.
exactly?
So I mean, there's improvement for sure, but not. Think it depends on me.
Mhm.
I don't blame nothing. You know, I don't blame any policy. I don't blame anyone. Just think if I don't like something, right, I should I should work hard
Mhm.
trying to change it. If I don't want to work hard for it, if I'm not willing to work hard to fix it, then I should not be complaining about it.
Mhm.
Right?
I think that's the best way to go about it. Go about life, you know? It's because I'm sure you've met people too. They just want to complain about everything else. It's never my fault, it's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
And that's going to get you, even if it was true, that's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
But I know when speaking with people, especially from Asian countries, it's exactly what you're saying is if something's not right, you need to either work harder or work smarter or change something about yourself and not about
Yeah. It makes sense. So if you cannot change it, change yourself. You can change yourself. You can always change yourself.
mhm,
Why, if you cannot do it, why complaining about it? It's not going to help you.
mhm.
It's only going to make you feel bad or mad or sad. You know.
Definitely. Definitely. Um yeah, I think we covered all the things I wanted to talk about.
Thank you.
That was an awesome conversation,
Thanks for
dude.
having me. You know?
Thanks for coming on. That was a interesting conversation. Um, is there any social media or anything you want to throw out there for people to follow you on? Or if not, that's fine. But sometimes people are like, oh, follow me on Instagram, but you don't have to.
Not right now. Maybe in the future.
Where can people buy your sushi?
So now I do a stop and shop. Stop and shop.
Where?
It's in Malden,
Mm-hmm.
down in the Cape, Orleans, Provincetown, and other locations.
That's
A
awesome.
few other locations.
I'm not a sushi person. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, everyone's a little different.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. That hour,
you.
it's like an hour went by pretty fast.
Yeah, goes by quick, right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. See ya, everybody.
See ya.